What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you for a Summerslam experience. Oh, yeah. Woo! Summerslam in Cleveland, in the Brown Stadium. Broke it in for football season for them, so now they can have their stadium back. Thank you. You're welcome. You know, that's what we're going to say, because now you can have your little stadium. Now it's football. Don't run into the Rams. Yeah. Woo! So let's talk about this. Man, so my buddy Dan actually ended up, we tried to secure tickets months ago, and it just didn't, it fell through. Nothing was really working. It was all good. Out of nowhere, this dude just straight goes, yo, I got tickets. I'm like, what? And I'm just like kind of dumbfounded by it. But, my daughter's happy. The wife's like, oh, no, now I got to deal with some dogs and stuff. But, it sucks that, she couldn't go, but that does, things happen and things like that. So she had her little party here and she had a little fun. And then we came home. She was all jacked up. Like she was all like talkative. And I just got off the road, like seeing black pitch dark with bright beams and lights and little markers flying by. And I just needed to detach a little bit. Had a beer. But, that was really cool that, he was able to come through with that. So actually, this Saturday, I am taking him to the Football Hall of Fame while the Fantasy Football Expo weekend is going on. So there's going to be a lot of like the Kings Classics draft is going to be going on there and everything like that. But man, this is going to be a wild, wild Summerslam episode for you as we bring the pain to the whole experience, right? Man, leading up to the trip. So I had to fix my car. I had to do an oil change. It was well overdue, and I had to deal on some long trips recently. So I got that done, and I actually was going to split it up over 2 days. I did not. I wanted to make sure I had Friday was complete rest day. So what I ended up doing was I did the lights. I had to get my headlights. Both of my headlights literally blew out. So I had no headlights, right? I mean, I had my high beams. So I got the headlights in. I had to take the bumper off. I had to do all that. Then a fuse blew, and my heart was sunk. And I'm like, no, this can't be happening. Meanwhile, the other car just came back, but it needs alignment. There's just no time to really get the alignment, right? So, crazy life situations to make sure that, this trip happens. Because, man, my boy went out and definitely got these tickets. And my daughter's looking forward to me. You know what those eyes look like. Please, Dottie. Yeah, we're going to make it happen. Yeah. Woo! Right? So the car's fixed. Everything's great. Lights work. We're on our way to Cleveland. I actually missed the exit because I'm so used to traveling 79. So I flipped back 6 miles out the way. Cost us about 12 minutes. We still got there pretty fast, practically before everybody. Now, what's really cool is that Scott, who is part of the full-time fantasy and everything like that, he actually, he runs the Circa in Vegas when they do the fantasy football drafts there and everything like that. So when he does his classics and he does the championships and things like that, Scott Atkins, he does all that. So he's really cool dude. So I finally got to meet him. It was really cool. He used to work with my buddy Doc. So, Dr. Roto. I mean, that's who I give out all this content for sports and everything else like that. Baseball, hitting them baseball bits. I'm Etastic Bets of the Week. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Woo. So, meeting up with that and then just being able to hang out with Dan. And then one of his friends came along. And of course, his wife was there. His daughter, of course, my daughter's friend, best friend right now, really. And they're just sitting there and they're all marking out. They're ready to just have themselves an emotional SummerSlam. Because, of course, a lot of great fights are going to happen. Now, that's what actually makes this SummerSlam actually really epic. Because not only were all the matches really good, fought really well, stories were told, stories were ended, some were began, and a lot of things were taken. There's a lot to take from this. So I don't want to really take everybody else's time because you're probably watching another one, a SummerSlam review on this and that. I know Busted Open was there last night. Dave LaGreca was there last night. And, he was busy out of his ass. And I'm sitting here trying to, kind of be like, yeah, where you at? Like trying to meet up, but I can't meet up with him because he's got to do his thing. He has to go live. He has to go record the podcast and things like that. And, I've kind of just didn't think about that being a fan. Sometimes I just wanted to go, chill and say, hey, hello, and then just run off and just, that's all it be. But, sometimes you can't do that at the events, but that's all it is sometimes. So I saw that a lot of my people from Erie were there. JJ Rumham, who wrestles in Erie. and many other places. He goes up to New York and wrestles and does a lot of things like that. He's always on the card. But his real name is James. I met him at Papa John's a long time ago. He was there. And this guy, Carl, that I met at Slices when I was working there a few years ago, he was there. And so this other guy in my fantasy football leagues, a couple of them, this guy, Justin, he was there. And there were so many other people that were there. And I was able to get this time to spirit. I was in awe, but the man, once you get me around, I get a beer, it's hot. I mean, look, man, I got my complexion, I am burned. But hey, I had it. So moving along there, we got to the Presto stage, and we're all sitting there trying to cheer and do stupid stuff with all the other fans. Like they're all because it's in Cleveland, they're all going the dog thing, go right. And then at the pre-stage, you got your pre-show going on, and C4 Energy was just giving out free C4. So this crew that they had set up there was having a really good time. They ended up coming down and taking water and ice and throwing it up in the air and letting it fall down on everybody. That was really hot. It was really cool. And they were giving out free C4 Energy, ice cold C4 Energy drinks. And man, I couldn't even tell you, I actually drank a whole C4 yesterday. And that's very not like me. I mean, right now, my wife is hearing this and she's probably like, the hell is that man drinking a whole C4 for? That's probably why I was acting the way I was in my live videos. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. But man, that day were crazy as hell too. They had a good time. And if you go back and you go to C4 Energy on their Twitter or X, Twix, whatever you want to call it, you can see me dancing in the background of the video. And then I go, yeah, man, it was just a great time. But we had to get in line. And again, once again, we were one of the first people in because we just passed up the pre-show. We came home, we watched it, and now Minnie already watched the after show. I didn't care about the after show. I just wanted to go home. But we'll talk about that in a few moments. Let's talk about the event. Liv beat Rhea with the assistance of Dom. We saw that this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. There was, speculation that Rhea's injury was still extensive and that this was kind of just to come back to get Liv through and carry and Liv maybe more, do a little more than just be a paper champion for now or something like that. Because mind Liv Morgan, she is really trying to think, but right now I don't think a lot of people respect her, and I think that sometimes her click, and now having Dom tag along, it's just gonna be Dom kind of like always tagging along to that belt as opposed to the girl. But anyway, that's gonna be fun. That's a nice little story to come up with that. So you can take that for what it is. Braun Baker beating Sami Zayn. Of course, Zayn needs some time, but Breaker has been dominant, and he's been dominant in his losses. In each one of Braun's losses, he has taken on his chin. He has known why he has lost, and that means that right now, his character is building that he is trying to learn because he's a physical freak, man. And everybody in Cleveland loved him too because of the his dad. And it was kind of just really cool to see it go down. But that's another thing, because coming up to the next match, LA Knight versus Logan Paul in his town with Machine Gun Kelly in his side, giving him brass knucks. LA Knight was still able to win. So now we have a retain on a championship. We have a loss on a championship. We have another loss on a championship, right? So then we have another loss. Nia Jax beat Bayley. Probably not the best match of the night. Good match. Of course, Tiffy time came out and, causes problems and makes things happen. And of course, Bayley just kind of has been running with that title too. Let's see where this little thing goes. But I just, I can't stand when Nia Jax is always trying to be like this little goody two-shoe instead of just trying to be dominant. If you're going to be dominant, you can't be cute in the process. Can we Bull Nakano this person, please? I mean, I don't get it. You're sitting there, you're going to try to be dominant and all scary. And then you're like, oh, girl, as if. What is that, bro? Like, I mean, come on, Nia. Let's get the character straight. That's all I'm asking for. And then maybe I would believe in you. I do believe in you as a person, though, because you are a good person. So, good luck coming back from your injury. But now, let's move on, man. McIntyre versus Punk. Man, that crowd was hot for Punk. Man, woo! That match was great. And then both fighters, because we all knew both fighters were going to have some kind of spit with Seth Rollins. And I mean, even at the one point of the match, right at the beginning, when we all just randomly started going, oh, 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 oh. Yeah, we all started doing that. And Seth just stops the match and starts doing his hand things, and they get a little agitated towards him. And I'm just like sitting there, just having a great time experiencing this again with my daughter, having crowd moments. Man, this dude, this like gangster dude that everybody was just calling the cocaine guy or something. I mean, I don't know what was going on because he was trying to sell something for $14. Whips out a flip phone and starts recording the fight. I'm like, why are you recording the fight with a flip phone, dude? So then the crowd behind us, man, it was wild. I was in like kind of like like I'd say like a Puerto Rican, Spanish, Mexican guy to descent area because they were just like the whole families were just right there. They're all like flip phone, flip phone, flip phone. And we're just all laughing, having a good time. Everybody doing their crowd banter. Dude dressed as Ultimate Warrior looked pretty good. I mean, I'll post those pictures on my Facebook. So if you know me there, whatever, maybe you'll catch one on the Twix or on my Instagram. Yeah. Woo! Right? But of course, this ends up being, McIntyre wins. Now we get Gunther for yet another title change because Damian Priest is screwed over by Finn Balor. So as I've been saying it, if you go back and you kind of think about the way Rhea would manhandle and how Damian would manhandle all Dom, Finn, and JD McDummy. Yeah, dummy. Yeah. Funko Pop. Big head. Long hair. Doesn't make its mind up. Needs less. Yeah. Man, I will tell you this. They were manhandling them for a long. So this is another Roman Reigns where people finally turned and where cracks happened. But they did it kind of behind the scenes. They kind of did it with Dom's infatuation with always staying near the women's title. And then they kind of just seethed and seethed behind because Finn had tried to win that from Seth for so long. And that was one of the feuds is when Priest said, now it's my time. And how Rhea would always back up Priest. So almost it was like, and this is probably what you're going to get either Monday night or SmackDown. You're going to get the explanation at some point, and you're going to probably get Demon Finn because Demon Finn is going to fight Damian Priest. A demon versus a priest. Yeah. You didn't see that coming, did you? Yeah. Money. Yeah. Woo. So that's going to be a very intriguing story going forward. Again, they're going to definitely have to explain what happened. And ultimately what it is I think that they just became overseers like Roman, became addicted to the power, have fallen, and now it's time to build themselves up like Seth Rollins has. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me give you one of those. All right. Let's get to it. Cody versus Solo. All right. Amazing match overall. Both fighters fought phenomenal. The use of so many different things from inside the ring to outside the ring, stairs being used at semi points, things being put up, things going on because it being a bloodline match. Man, I will also say this too. Another thing about this match that was crazy was the buildup because everybody knew Roman was coming back. Everybody just knew it, man. And here you have the bloodline stuff going on. They come out, they attack. Randy and Kevin Owens come out, they save, they all pull it back. And then here comes Jacob Fatu, which I hope you will see recovery if that is an extensive knee injury. It looked like a knee to me. I don't know what's being reported right now because at the same time, with it just right now, that would just be a horrible loss for them because it really does weaken them. Because you got but way better to say. I'd do it one more time for y'all. Yeah. So, with that being said, that's a big loss. That's not strong. With Jacob Fatu in that mix, that makes them very, very strong, right? So then, because you got, like I said, like I won't say it again. Okay, let's just go. We'll just move along. But you have like two beasts in Jacob and Solo, and then of course you got. If I say one, I'm going to say the other one. So let's move along. So it opened the door for Roman to come back. Roman came back in and he pointed at the end that Cody has heart. He understands that now. And this is going to be the final thing where, maybe Survivor Series, we get Roman back for that. And then Roman can go away until Royal Rumble. That would be suffice. Honestly, come back, Royal Rumble, you come out and maybe do a WrestleMania rematch, or maybe you take a different kind of approach. Maybe you go after the title. Maybe it goes after Gunther. I'm down to see that. Sorry about that. And this really sets up Cody too, because who is Cody's next opponent? And we're most likely not going to get that tomorrow. I mean, maybe. I mean, he does like have a chance. He does like to show up after a pay-per-view. So, and this will probably be only a talking scene. Now, Brock Lesnar is in the back scenes right now, but they kind of already squashed that shit. So at the same time, when you're sitting there and you don't want to see that again, where do you want to go? That's going to be a really fun avenue. Maybe this is where maybe Randy Orton starts coming in, or you figure out like you do the Survivor Series thing where you do a team versus team, and then that kind of holds everything over with maybe only one more title defense before Royal Rumble, because Royal Rumble really is around the corner because, of course, with that. So, and they don't even have to focus on Cody next time because of where we're going next time with the next pay-per-view. It was whatever announced. I can't remember. I want to say it's going to be Gunther. Yeah, it's in Germany, right? Oh, then Schmerzen, bring it in. Yeah. So that's just going to be really great to see the direction that WWE goes with so many belts changing hands and so many factions being squashed and being teamed, that at the same time we're going to see where this goes. But Roman's return was definitely great. That crowd popped. My voice was a little raspy. I was happy that I was able to pull off 2 podcasts today for all of you on Planet Painbringer. Thank you, everybody, all my pain bringers. Make sure you head over to my YouTube at Heat Override number 5. Of course, you hit Bring the Pain in any search. You're going to get me, other than, Method Man and Chris Rock. Also, head to my Spreaker. If you're not listening on Spreaker right now and you're watching this on my YouTube or my Facebook page, right? And that's at Bring the Pain on Facebook, right? Bring the Pain 8 to be exact, for the infinity sign, because Bring the Pain will always live on because it's in everybody. It's the subcockles of our heart. It's why when I key, I let that out from the subcockle, man, because that's how I go, right? So at the same time, when you think about this and everything, I want to make sure that all of you, thank you for listening to this podcast, and also thank you for choosing my podcast, because sometimes I am. And if you haven't noticed, I've been kind of trying to calm myself down a little bit, trying to work out the machoisms and things like that, except for this episode. Oh, no. Yeah. I had to definitely make sure.
Hey, punk, you're not going to sit there and talk about wrestling when the Macho Man is sitting right here, huh? Yeah. I just got to say, I got to give it to you on that one right there. I was hoping for Roman Reigns to come back myself. Yeah. But at the same time, I want to say it was great to see you and your daughter. Yeah. Put on an experience with the friend.
Yeah. That's the number one thing. I got to do this with my daughter. It was always a dream of mine to do the top 4. So I've done a Monday Night Raw. I've done multiple live events, right? I've done Payback just recently, and I've done Night of the Champions with my buddy Dave. I got to see The Rock at that Monday night in Cleveland. So I've seen a SummerSlam in Cleveland, and I've seen a Monday Night Raw in Cleveland. And I got to see it. This was my daughter's first time ever in a football stadium. She was amazed. She had never been around. Like, she's been to Kiss concerts and everything like that, right? But this was 60,000, almost 60,000 people. I think it was 57,000 something. She had never seen a sea of people in great times, and it was hot. There was people getting toted out on, on a gurney, because the heat was getting to a lot of people. They had to deal with a lot that day. And we see the gurney going left and right. Some do look like he hurt his thing. But to actually experience this with my daughter, to finally check off one of the big 4, which is actually, I always thought WrestleMania and SummerSlam and Royal Rumble were the 3. Survivor Series was kind of thrown in there, and now they kind of treat Survivor Series like, just the raggedy doll of the family. But whatever, that's fine. It's still the big 4, the original big 4. And SummerSlam, the original SummerSlam and party was great and everything. So yes, check me out on my Spreaker. I am also on Apple. I'm on Spotify. I am on Iheart. I almost said iTunes. That is Apple. And at the same time, I am on Deezer. I am on everything Podchaser, Podbean. Everywhere I'm at, you can find my podcast, Bring the Pain. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. And let's see where wrestling goes from here, right? Because in the end, there's only going to be one head of the table. And Solo Sikoa ain't gonna be it. Boy, Roman coming back, and everybody's gonna jump on a sack. Yeah. Woo! Have a great day, everybody, and may the Summerslam experience be with you. Yeah.